it's not really Xi Jinping going into the room, chewing the fat with Donald Trump and then deciding what they're going to do. His line has been decided well before he gets into the room. With Donald Trump, you never know quite what you're going to get.
Now, two of the world's largest economies, the US and China, are on their way to a trade breakthrough after President Trump hailed his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea as a great success. The summit comes 6 months after Trump slapped 145% tariffs on goods from China. Xi then retaliated with a 125% levy on those from the US, creating a situation that Treasury Secretary in the US, Scott Bessent, described as a de facto trade embargo. So, has the tension now been relieved? Let's speak to Professor Rana Mitter, St. Lee Chair in US-Asia Relations at the Harvard Kennedy School. Professor Mitter, welcome to the programme.
Hello, Callum. Morning. Good to be with you.
It's very good to speak to you. I'm trying to get a read on the significance of the outcome here. Chinese state media, I noted, didn't really confirm any deals that Trump has been talking up. Instead, they said the two heads of state agreed to strengthen cooperation in areas such as trade and the economy, energy, and the promotion of cultural exchanges. What message should we be taking from this meeting of the pair?
Well, I think that statement comes straight out of kind of Politburo's central language, but
Yes.
It is actually still significant, Callum, because it indicates that China wants to cool the temperature, as does the United States. Just 3 or 4 weeks ago, not very long really, there was that huge turning up of the temperature when the Chinese said that they were going to restrict US access and actually global access to rare minerals, special elements which are needed for smartphones, all sorts of electronic equipment, and China controls most of the world's supply. And America then said, the Trump administration said it was going to stick an extra 100% tariff on Chinese goods. So this is basically now the cooling down from that situation. And I think the Chinese side is indicating that they regard things now as being back on a sort of plateau. This is not, though, the end of the story. There's still plenty of issues to negotiate. But when it comes to selling soybeans to the Chinese, and also from the Chinese point of view, having more possibility of getting hold of American technology, that's, I think, really what was being decided this time round.
How does President Xi negotiate? He sometimes feels like quite a mystical character, I think. What is his temperament? Is he pragmatic when it comes to the sort of global trade conversation?
He's pragmatic, but up to a point. Like Donald Trump, he's a nationalist. He believes in making China great again. But I would say that his tactics in doing that are almost, basically take anything that President Trump does, and Xi Jinping is almost the exact opposite. So, for instance, President Trump is, in his own words, unpredictable. He's someone who likes to lead from the top with almost no consultation elsewhere. In contrast, Xi Jinping certainly makes the final decision. He is the man who makes the decision, no argument about that. But he will have a huge array of think tankers, policy professionals, various people who give him various options. He spends time debating that. He'll be somewhere like the Central Party School, where they have all these kind of ideological debates. And then finally, the line will come out of that. That's one of the reasons why Chinese negotiation often doesn't seem very flexible. It's not really Xi Jinping going into the room, chewing the fat with Donald Trump and then deciding what they're going to do. His line has been decided well before he gets into the room. With Donald Trump, you never know quite what you're going to get. And that, of course, infuriates the Chinese, but they've learned to deal with it.
Yes. I read one analysis that was that the cut to the fentanyl-related tariffs was about addressing a sort of crucial Chinese grievance. I do wonder if how China has been affected by Trump's trade war. Has it really hit them quite hard?
It has hit them quite hard. I think the area in which there's been the most damage is not the really big tech companies in China. People will know names perhaps like Alibaba, Tencent, of course, ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, which of course is very famous. These companies are doing fine, mainly because they don't really actually, apart from TikTok, have that much traffic in the United States. It's the small companies and the medium-sized companies in China that produce components for things that every American will own, furniture, smartphones, clothes even. These are the things where that massive 100, 120, 145% tariff on Chinese goods coming into the US really made a difference. But don't forget that also made a difference to US consumers, because let's say Walmart, one of the biggest retailers in America, big low-cost place, Costco would be another one. maybe something like 50 or 60% of their goods are actually sourced at some point out of China. So yes, it was hurting Chinese producers, but also it was hurting American consumers, particularly lower income ones.
And so, just very quickly, Professor Mitter, this isn't the end, clearly, of this trade war. There is still high percentage tariffs kind of in the air. But is this progress towards sort of normalising trade relations once again?
There'll probably be an equilibrium in trade, but I'd add one other T as well as trade and tariffs, T for Taiwan. They didn't discuss that at all. It's a security issue, which is really big for both China and the United States, and indeed its neighbors like Japan. We'll have to discuss that on another occasion, but that wasn't really mentioned at all. It will not go away. It will be a security issue between the two sides for many years to come.
That is a very fair point, and thank you for making it. That is Professor Rana Mitter, S.T. Lee Chair in US-Asia Relations at the Harvard Kennedy School.
People's Republic of China.
Good to meet you. Great pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you again.
很高兴再见你。Me too.
And we're going to have a very successful meeting, I have no doubt.
我肯定我们今天会有非常成功的会议。
But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good.
但是他是很强硬的谈判者哦，这不好。
We know each other well.
我们相互之间非常了解。
Mr. President, do you plan to sign a trade deal today?
Could be.
有可能。
I think we'll have a great understanding.
但是我们会达成很好的
We have a great relationship. We've always had a great relationship.
我们之间的关系很好，关系总是很好。
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine, really for a long time now, if you think about it. The very, very distinguished and respected President of China. And we will be having some discussions. I think we've already agreed to a lot of things, and we'll agree to some more right now. But President Xi is a great leader of a great country, and I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time. And it's an honor to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Given our different national conditions, we do not always see eye to eye with each other. And it is normal for the two leading economies of the world to have frictions now and then.
I thought it was an amazing meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And what can I say? We have, it was an outstanding group of decisions, I think, that was made. A lot of decisions were made, too. There wasn't too much left out there. I've agreed, as you know, I put a 20% tariff on China because of the fentanyl coming in, which is it's a big tariff. And based on his statements today, I reduced it by 10%, so it's 10% instead of 20%, effective immediately. I believe he's going to work very hard to stop the death that's coming in. I'll be going to China in April, and he'll be coming here sometime after that, whether it's in Florida, Palm Beach, or Washington, D.C.